everybody out there, my name is Dragnix, and this is Enemy. Now before we begin, this key was obtained from the developer at the request of myself for the First Impressions review. So keep that in mind, and I'm going to show you in the Let's Try format. I really thought about doing the First Impressions, but I really think the format really calls for the Let's Try, just because there's so much detail going on. I don't want to sort of shorten it in this case. I think there's a lot of intricacies to this game. Now, this game is a procedurally generated RPG with combat influenced by XCOM, and you're going to see where that comes into play. Now, before we begin, just know that this is a boss fight. This is the first boss fight of the game, and I played this about 6 hours at this point with a couple of different times. It is a roguelike, and it is a permadeath, so any character that dies will die permanently. You can get new characters as you go along. My party here is 5, as you can see here. Now, first thing you'll notice is the graphics. The graphics are the sort of, I don't want to say Minecraft style, but it does really remind me of Minecraft. It is sort of that pixel-generated portion, but I think it works for this game, and especially works with some of the other elements of it. Now, each character has 8 stats. Each of them all different, different in every way. I will like to say that this portion, these stats, unlike other games where you see stats, where one is obviously better than the other, this one is rather well done in terms of the variety. Each one of these make a huge difference. So, I've got melee, ranged, bomb is more so of an explosive ranged attack, specific, and throw. I'll show you what throw does. Health, endurance. Endurance is dealing with jumping and running, which I will show you in a minute. The mind, again, I'll show you in a minute. And reaction. Mind is actually, I'll say a little bit more about mind. View distance and view angle is affected by it. So keep that in mind. But there's one big mechanic that has come into play. In fact, I need to actually level up Hayato here. I'm going to put up his health. That's a good one to go with. Alright, so we got our 5 characters here. Each of the characters all have different stats. Like I said, Dragnix, for example, is a range class. So, I can move to any spot on the map, and you'll notice this little timer down here. This little timer is how much I can move. Now, I'll move him until he can't move anymore. Simple enough, right? But you'll also notice this in the corner with my little arrow pointer here. This is called when you see it here, the reaction timer. And so, I've got this at 25. Well, what does that mean? So let me try moving Alberto all the way over here. 56, 49, 42, 35, 28. Wait, he stops. This is the amount of time in which you want to allocate for reactions. And I'll show you what reactions do in a bit, but reactions are basically when an enemy comes into your line of sight, you have the chance to react to them before they are able to do anything. Very similar to an XCOM portion. There's a lot of similarities to XCOM and influenced by XCOM here. And I want to make sure that you understand that those comparisons are valid. There are a lot of elements that remind me of like XCOM Enemy Unknown. I never played the original XCOM. I know that's heresy on my point, but it does remind me a lot of that XCOM Enemy Unknown portion in just a little bit different style. Alright, so Alberto's going to stay here. I can look with the middle mouse button to sort of, look for any enemies, coming on me or coming at me. Now, these other things. You'll notice that this bar here, it's endurance. So if I move and I hold down the shift key, notice he's running. So he is actually able to move faster at that point. The endurance is used for jumping and running. And so he's now even further than he was. And I'm going to keep him here. He's one of my thrower guys. As you can see, he's got a little box in front of him. And so I'm going to keep him there. Keep him aimed at that opening at this point. Jack is more of a fighter at this point, so I'm just going to move him over. Fighters I don't really see the need for them to have the reaction time in terms of my strategy. But what I love about this game so far is that there's a lot of different strategies. There's a lot of different strengths and weaknesses and optimal strategies based on your class orientation. Alright, so I'm going to move Hayato here. He is more of a melee class as well. And I'm going to have him just look that way. Actually, I'm going to have him look behind us just in case something decides to come out at this point. All right, and I end my turn there. Simple enough. Oh, there we go. We got a enemy, a devil here at the window here. So what I'm going to first do is I'm going to go with Dragnix. Dragnix is a range class, and I can just attack him straight up. Now, distance does matter, as well as the height. You see the height here. So I'm going to try to attack first. Oh, would you look at that? One of the nice things about this game is the destructible environments, and not just for show. The thing is, the destructible environments will make a difference. Let's say I take down this roof, for example, and I take it down on the devil. It will damage him. You can actually use that to your advantage in a lot of different areas, and I really love it about that. I can destroy a wall and go through it if I get enough space for it, obviously. If I try to fit him in this little hole right here, it's not going to work. All right, so let's try attacking again. Oh, okay, for some reason, that didn't count. Or did he take damage? Let's see. Nope, he didn't take damage. But you know what? I'm surprised that didn't do damage to him. But okay, sure, why not? All right, let's go with Lore Thags here. Let's move him over here and let's just throw the item at him. Up, killed him in one hit. The throwing power is really powerful, but it has a specific range. It's like a shotgun range almost. You can hit at longer distances, but they're more rare, and they're really good at taking down walls and associated structures. All right, so I'm going to keep him right there. I'm going to have Jack be my sort of lead on this. Oh, well, hold on. His health isn't that great. Let's go to the inventory. So, each time that you use your inventory actually takes up time. You actually have to really consider what you're using in your inventory and not. So I'm going to have him heal up here, and that's going to cost me 10 seconds, but okay, he's up to 152. Now the thing is that I can actually get items out of my main inventory, sort of like the main box you would see at like in games that like Borderlands 2's like Vault, in terms of like putting items away for later on. You can grab it any time, but it takes some time for you to grab it. So like I can give him a beer, for example, and it's going to take him 35 seconds to get it. Okay, cool. And I'm going to have him move up a little bit and look towards that entrance, and there we go. Now, I've talked about a lot about, you know, some of the main elements of this game. What about the overall experience? Well, the overall experience is rather good, in particular with the roguelike portion. Maps are procedurally generated at this point, and it is really different based on what kind of level you are in, and, you know, you'll see some similar structures, but enemy placement is different. So much so that sometimes you're put into a position when you come into the game that is really disadvantageable. It puts you at a disadvantage. Like, for example, being stuck behind a house and only having one exit at that point. It's really interesting, the random portion. It's not to the point where you're just like put into a completely unfair situation, but enough where you actually have to look at the situation and be like, oh crap, what have I gotten myself into? All right. Ooh, Lithranx here got a level, so let's level him up a little bit. Let's put him some in the mind, because I feel like I'm going to need that soon. Well, what does a mind portion really, really do in the end? Well, the mind portion, it has to do with fear. You see this guy here, this stat, morale. If the morale goes to 0, your hero panics. And basically, like Darkest Dungeon, they're sort of a little bit chaotic at that point. You don't know what they're going to do. They may go and attack the enemy, or they just may run off at that point. That can be devastating at certain points. You have to manage that. All right, I'm going to have Hayato go up here because he's definitely the strongest at this point in terms of what I have. I'll take this guy's little pitchfork here. All right, let's go here. Let's look in. You use page up and page down to go through the layers of things, and that can get sort of annoying at first, considering you have to keep on going back and forth between layers. In addition, you can go up and down with the mouse if you wanted to attack certain portions of the environment at that point, so keep that in mind too. All right, let us have Alberto look in here. Alright, so he's going to guard that door. We're going to have Lothrax here go up here. Now, you were wondering, okay, I got that box. Where did I get that from? Well, I just took it from, you know, the appropriate place. Like, I just took part of the wall there. Little nice, isn't it? It's actually rather cool that I can just pick up part of the environment and throw it at people. Now, again, like a character like this, they have to have at least a point or two in terms of being able to pick up and throw. So keep that in mind. And also, if they got a weapon in their hand, they're not going to be able to throw. What about this? Well, notice how I have to go up these stairs in terms of getting up there. Or I can spend some endurance and jump up there. Each character, depending on their endurance, can use the jump at a greater distance or as much as they can. Alright, let's have Jack move over here. Look into this building. Alright, he's going to guard that door. We're going to have Hayato move up here. Up, he sees a ghost. Ghosts are special enemies. Something about the enemy types. Where does he see the ghost? I'm not exactly sure where he sees it. Okay, good to know. Gotta keep that in mind. Dragnix will bring up the rear here. And he'll aim down the... Well, no, he doesn't need to aim down the hallway. He doesn't have that much time left, so... let's have Lothrax get into an area where he can actually do something, and we're gonna... Okay, there's the ghost. Ghosts are gonna really play off the fear mechanic, and so he basically disables a character for a little bit, which is highly annoying, to be honest with you. You can't kill them either. Keep that in mind. They're invulnerable. But they also won't damage you in the regular way. Alright, let's have Jack here first go in. Alright, there we go. Nothing of any sort there. So he'll just go on and look down the hallway a little bit. We'll have Hayato move to this door and open it. And we're going to have him hide in here just in case. Dragnix will go in front of Jack and look down the hallway and aim down the hallway. Now, aiming is a specific skill in terms of sort of like, okay, come at me, bros. My accuracy is increased at this point. And like I said, the reaction time, if somebody gets in my way, well, I'm going to take care of them at this point. Alberto is a bomber at this point. You notice all these items that he has in his hand? Like, he's got a landmine in his hand right now. I probably want to switch that out for, like, a grenade. And that, of course, takes time. Every move you have to do in this game takes some kind of action, which is actually nice. You really have to think about what you're doing. Like, for example, I'm going to think about Lothrax here taking out some of the environment. I'm going to try to get through this door here and maybe open up stuff. And, of course, because, you know, I'm in this building, I can just pick up the next thing and deal with that. Alright. Up, okay, so this enemy see me off screen. Up, we see they're taking some fear damage here. They're like, oh god, what is this? What are we getting hit by? So I'm gonna have to be able to take care of that enemy first. Alright, let's have Alberto be the sort of guinea pig here. He'll run up. There's a skeleton. Alright. Soon you'll be like us. Well, I doubt that, because you see, I have this thing called a grenade. Let's see how he does in terms of accuracy. Nice. And leveled up. Cool. Alright, so, destructible environments. One other thing I want to make sure, and I'll make sure next turn, is about fire sort of special ability in this game. Fire spreads like natural fire. Alright, so he can't open the door because his hands are full. Makes sense. He is holding a big stone block above him. Jack will go to that door. And we'll level him up. We'll give him some more melee damage. Now, melee in every stat, you can equip better weaponry based on the melee stats or range stats or so on and so forth. So keep that in mind. Let's get Hayato out of there. I don't really want him being affected by the ghost. Although technically I don't want Dragnix being affected by the ghost. I mean, it is me. I'd rather... Alberto is the one person I can probably give up a little bit at this point. Just because this is close quarters, so I don't really want to bomb as much. Because bombs can also affect you. So if I were to, you know, drop a Molotov at my feet, I'm going to take damage. Everything in this game is very strategic. Fear. And here's the fear mechanic. So after they're done moving, you'll notice that he's not a very happy person. Hero's in panic. And so he's just going to randomly run around at this point. He may attack things in certain areas, and he may actually do more than you could do in one turn, but obviously you have no control over him, so it's a little bit of a problem. Now let's move into here. There's nothing around at this point. It's interesting. I'm actually a little bit afraid now. All right, Hayato's going to move down. We're going to just have everybody, we're going to try to get past this ghost, and so we're going to try to move down the hallway as much as we can so that there's no problems. All right, Lonethrax here. In fact, Lonethrax, let's have him the lead because he's got that huge block to nail enemies with. And we'll end the turn here. Now, enemies are the same as you. So everything that you can do, your enemies can do. The enemy AI, that may be one of the weaker parts of the game, only because the enemy AI at times can be, what's the word I'm looking for? Silly. My personal favorite being the sort of suicide bomber where one of the bombers are like, well, you might be right next to me, but you know what's a good idea? Throwing a grenade at you. I was actually surprised. I had thought that the AI was smarter than that, but it seems like once in a while they'll do something really, really stupid. On the other hand, he did take my character out at that point, so maybe that actually wasn't that stupid. So, for strategy game lovers, and in particular those who love like XCOM Enemy Unknown, this is a very, I really don't want to say like a dumbed down version of it, because there's a lot of mechanics here, like the endurance, the breaking of walls. In particular, the breaking of the walls portion is rather nice. In fact, what I'm going to do, I'm going to end my turn here. I'm going to actually not bother with you. Player interrupt. So he came in the line of sight of this guy who had enough energy for the player interrupt, and so now I can actually do an action here during the enemy's turn, which I'm actually going to use. I'm not sure how that... Oh, I aimed upward. So, page up. Look at that. So, I actually aimed upward, and I did damage high up there. So, that is sort of cool. You can really mess around with players that way, in terms of, you know, getting the drop on somebody, or making a roof fall. So, again, really, really cool. Right, and that turn... And what I was going to do here, before I decided to throw that, is I was going to attack the wall. Oh, I need to bring my guy down, I think. Am I breaking the high portion, or... Let's see here. Oh, maybe he's not doing enough damage. I mean, it is stone blocks. All right, let's not. Vampire throw with a chainsaw. That's fantastic. We are going to move back at this point because those guys can do some major damage. And Dragnix is going to sign up and aim down that hallway because they may be able to see me. Alberto is going to go to the lead because, well, he's got some bombs in his hand, and I'd prefer him being in the lead at this point. We're going to have Lonethrax, Lanthrax, Anthrax get up here and be ready to throw something. And Jack is just going to bring up the rear because he's got boxing gloves. He can punch things. But we're just going to leave him. Oh, they're going to retreat. Interesting. Well, you're not going to be able to do much at that range, so let's just have you move forward a little bit. We're going to chase at this point. Okay, so he's coming at me now. Okay, there we go. So he's coming at me, but you know what? I interrupted his attack, so... but I don't have enough energy to do it. You see, that's the thing. You have to give him enough energy in order to do it, and I don't have enough. Okay, good. So again, there's reasons you can do at 25 at a time, so there's reasons to do each portion of it at this point. Alright, so let's have Lonethrax here start it off. Took 64 damage. That's pretty good. He also took 14 morale. More reasonable. Let's have... Alberto, move down here. And let's have him... No, let's have him wait. Let's have... Actually, let's just have Lone Thrax here grab another piece and just chuck it at him again. That is so effective. So, it may be overpowered at some points, but again, the range is very specific, so trying to throw it down the hallway is probably not going to work. Alright, I'm going to have him move down there. This is probably too far down, but you know what? I'm willing to risk it. Now, one thing I will say is that you can't take back moves, which I understand why they did that because of the interrupt mechanic. But when you accidentally click on something and then all of a sudden start moving towards it, that can get annoying a little bit. Alright, let's have him pick up that chainsaw. And then let us see if I can hit him with this use reserve time. Yes, because I've got him timed. It's actually asking you, do you really want to do this so you won't be able to interrupt? Yeah, I do. Up. I hit the ceiling, didn't I? Let's see here. Yeah, I think the arc was going to be too great. So, that didn't work. I should have checked my ceiling beforehand. Alright. That was silly of me. We're going to go down. Okay, so Dragnix here is going to... Oh, is Dragnix going to hit Jack? I might. I think I may move forward and attack, but I don't have enough time. Alright, fine. And he's scared. He's literally, he's like, oh god, you're gonna kill me. Well, at least Jack can attack now. And knock him back. That's good. Whew. So, I've given you a lot about the game. Now, the inventory, like I said, based on what items you've got... Oh, he just threw... Okay. That actually worked somehow. That could have been really dangerous because I just threw a grenade at a very short range. I'm glad nobody else was that, you know, close on that. Now, I will say that your enemy, your AI, generally doesn't attack you. Although, there was one mission with a civilian, which they do vary of civilian types rather well in terms of mission types. I had to save a couple of civilians in one mission. One of my guys who were afraid killed a civilian. It was actually rather comical. At least I think it was a civilian. They had civilian clothes. I didn't notice it until it was like, why did the civilian count go down? Alright. Dragnix is going to go up here. He's going to get the high ground, and he's going to launch some fire at this guy. Let's do one more. You can do multiple, depending on your wait time, obviously. Alberto can't do anything because he was frightened. Let's actually move a little bit down. Let's grab some of this debris. Let's move a little bit further. And let's chuck it at this guy. Nope, I'm actually right behind him. So I probably don't want to do that. I probably want to move here and then chuck it at him. Okay, 27. There are missing sound effects, like the missing hit there once in a while. And the sound design isn't the greatest, unfortunately. It's very basic, and I wish there was a little bit more to it. But with everything that's in this game, I really don't think... I don't want to keep that as a real negative towards it. Make sure that your characters, in terms of the range characters, always have more ammo than they need in their secondary slots. Because the thing is that once you run out, you run out. There's not going to be a lot left. Alright, I think I may be able to kill this guy. Yes! And everybody leveled up. Cool. Alright, I'm going to try to get to the boss here before the end of this episode. I don't want to stretch it out too much, but I also want to show you maybe the first boss fight of this game, if I can. What else can I talk about? Well, again, the strategies are high up there in terms of the ways you can do it. I can go through walls. I can, focus on bombers. I can make people a little bit more multi-skilled so that they can do multiple things. Now, in this case, I made sure that everybody's really got a specialty. That can be dangerous because if somebody who was doing a certain specialty goes down, that could turn out to be a problem later on, because then you have somebody who may not be able to take out an enemy properly. Alright, we're going to grab this here. He's going to use his reserve time. Ooh, he's got gold on him. And the chainsaw, we'll take that. and a torch. We'll keep that in the satchel. And we're going to move forward still. Lanthrax is going to go up here. I've pretty much covered everything on here in terms of the abilities and everything that I've seen in the game right now. My overall opinion of the game is that for $15, while the graphics may not show it, and I mean, again, you're talking about a game which, you know, Minecraft is sort of like this. The amount of strategy that goes into it and the replayability can be high. Ooh, treasure. I'm going to want that. There is treasure and interactives on the map. You can find people in the game at this point, so on and so forth. All right, it's going to be, it looks like going to be a couple other rooms here, so I'm going to probably cut out a little bit of this and show you guys the boss fight, but this game seems worth it at this point. I really don't have a lot of negatives in terms of what the game has shown and wants to offer you. This is definitely what it's advertised as. You know, there is deep combat. Again, the combat can be annoying in that XCOM enemy unknown way, in terms of, like, you have a percentage to hit at times, and you could be, like, thinking that you're right there, and nope, it's not going to work. Oh, a cannon. That's actually going to be really helpful. Did I get this one? I did not. Gold and a ham. I'll keep the ham. Ooh. Potion of Iron Will. Excellent. And time bombs. Don't know why there's time bombs and hams in the same drawers, but that's all right. That's okay. We didn't care about it anyway. Yeah, so guys, I would say if you love strategy games, and in particular if you liked XCOM Enemy Unknown, I think this is the kind of game in which strategy lovers and methodical RPG lovers are gonna like. It's definitely got enough of a skill base in terms of really taking advantage of the environment around, and in particular the destructible environments are really something that I really find cool at this point. I mean, I don't think a lot of games have destructible environments when they could, and this is one that definitely is taking advantage of it, in particular with breaching a wall and being able to use the sort of wall and roof against people, despite what you saw earlier, that I think that might, I don't want to say that was a bug, maybe I'm misunderstanding what the mechanic is, but honestly, this game really works. I will say one thing though, negative about it. Once in a while, it will seem to chug with some of the larger explosions, a lot of particle effects. Like if you have a huge explosion like over here, like once in a while I would see it chug, but honestly, it didn't feel that bad because it wasn't actively, like not an active action game. Honestly, guys, I really think this game is worth it in the end, and if you like these kind of games, take a look at it. So this is Dragnix signing out. We'll see if I can take on the boss a little bit later here, and I will talk to you guys later. Thanks for watching. One thing I do want to say, come to think of it, just because some people will be off-put by the fact that like you end a turn and you like wanted him to go there and you would want like 2 turns to do that. I think there's enough with the interrupt system where I don't think you could probably program it to allow for it to sort of like interrupt you, like, wait a minute, something's happened enough in the match that maybe you want to do something different here. I could hold that as a negative against the game. It doesn't play too much out of it because you really do want to be sort of methodical with everything that you do in this game, just because everything that happens is gonna be cause you problems if you don't. Alright. Okay, well, let's boss fight time, and I don't know who you are, but look into your eyes. Well, I'll look into your eyes. It's just that I'm gonna look into your eyes as you shoot you. Well, at least you got scared a little bit. I can say that at least. Let's see if Alberto here. Well, this was probably a bad idea because all he has is landmines, and yeah, you're gonna be just not doing much in this match. Okay, Linthrorix. Probably shouldn't keep everybody in the same area because that could really actually screw me up. Because if they throw a bomb there, I'm sort of screwed. So, alright, let's move him here. Alright. Oh. Hey, buddy. Can I hit you? Nope. Well, we are gonna retreat a little bit. I don't really want to join you. In fact, I'm gonna place down a mine. Okay. That was sort of silly. Alright, let's have Hayato here. Oh, okay. Hey, buddy. How about we do some damage to you? There we go. In fact, you're probably gonna just go right at him. Let's do it again. Oh, he's scared. Yeah, be scared. Oh, he's scared too. Awesome. Everyone's scared of Hayato and his swords. Oh, yeah, you should be afraid. I just took out your chainsaw guy. And Lunthrax here is gonna be like, guys, I hope you understand that I could pick up stone blocks on you and chuck them at you. I mean, look at that. Look at that. I do wish the UI was a little bit better in terms of, like, maybe bars above the head at this point, but... Oh, okay. Ooh, Berserk. So he's going to actually attack me, so I probably need to focus on him. Let's get Jack in there. Because what do we do with these vampires? We punch them to death. Oh, well, you went through an enemy there. That's actually going to make my life a little bit harder. Punch the devil. That's what you do. If the devil ever gets into your house, you punch him. You punch him repeatedly. That's how you do it, guys. Take it from me. One enemy remains. Well, it's Dragnix time to shine because I'm Dragnix. Oh, okay, so your encumbrance on fleeing, so there must be something special I gotta do to you. Do I have to burn you or something? Oh, this is interesting. This is actually rather interesting. I don't know what specifically I need to do. He's dead. Do I need to do something with the throne? Or do I have to set him on fire? Ooh. I like this. You're gonna run. Okay, so... What? Do I just attack you again? Okay, you can see the frames just drop out of nowhere. Okay. There we go. Oh, it did 134. I did collapse something on top of him. Oh, sweet. See, I told you guys. Alright, so that is, again, the end of this episode, actually. But this is Enemy. I do really think this game is worth it, guys. And there is some minor things to it that I would like to see improve. The frame rate at times. And some of the little UI things. But other than that, it is a nice $15 game for those who love the RPG genre. This is Dragnix signing out, and I hope you guys have a wonderful day. Hey, thanks for watching. If you have a chance, leave some feedback and comments below. If you liked the video, hit that like button. And if you want more content like this, hit that subscribe button. This is Dragnix signing off, hoping that gaming brings as much fun to you as it does for me.